So I get asked all the time, is it worth it to reload, yay or nay? In today's video, I'm going to give you guys the tools and more specifically take you through all of the components that I use for my sort of ultimate setup, how long it'll take me to break even and then start winning from there, as well as some other things to factor in. That is what we're going to do in today's video. So I'll see you guys after the intro. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe while the intro plays, and I'll see you pretty much as we go through this breakdown, shall we? Right, so before we actually get into the breakdown, I'll give a huge shout out to Armageddon Gear. They're a new sponsor of the channel. You guys know I've been running this pint-sized game changer for forever. Now, there was quite a funny story with this specific bag. In 2018, when I was at the Precision Rifle Series finale, the owner of Armageddon Gear, Tom, actually shot from his stage, hit one of my targets. The RO gave me the point, and I was like, what just happened? Super confused. Anyway, long story short, after the match, Tom, I found out it was Tom, we spoke about it, and he actually gave me this pint-sized game changer. So I've recently got in some new stock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay it forward, and I'm going to give this pint-sized game changer away to one of our lucky people on Patreon. So I've randomly selected who gets it, and I want to congratulate Martin on winning this. I'm going to give it to you the next time I see you, otherwise I'll send it to you. So thank you very much for the support, and you guys can win too if you're a member of our Patreon group. Anyway, so without further ado, let's jump into sort of the couple of things you have to ask yourself. So for me, first of all, what I did was I set up a spreadsheet, okay? And I'm going to give you guys access to this at the end. So I set up a spreadsheet to sort of track all the different costs that go into actually manufacturing a Freedom Seed. I have to be a little bit specific with word selection here. So first of all, if we look at what sort of our components cost with regards to making every one. So I've done this and not put currencies in, so you can pretty much just use this sheet and put your own currencies in there. So first of all, we're going to look at actually what the component cost would be. Then we're going to jump into all the equipment you need to actually make that, right? So I'm going to just sort of share my screen with you on the side here. So first of all, we're going to look at what every bullet actually costs. So for me in South Africa, this is all priced in rands, right? So you guys, if you want access to the spreadsheet, stick around until the end, and then you can just sort of configure this and to run the numbers yourself, or it's quite easy to build a sheet like this. So first of all, per bullet, it's going to cost me almost 11 rand. So 10 rand 89. For a primer, it's 85 cents, and you can see here how I've sort of divided everything up. Very importantly, what I did when it came to the powder is I took my actual powder charge, which you can insert in here, and there's a little formula to work out how much powder you need in grains, and that gives me a value for the charge for every specific caliber, right? Just divided into sort of how much is in the actual tub. So you'll also notice in the sheet, I've included barrel life and gunsmithing fees, because that is something I have to factor into when I just want to calculate sort of what it actually cost me for every round I send downrange. But for the purpose of the exercise, if you're comparing factory ammo to ammo you've made yourself, then we kind of have to take that out. So if I did take that out, my total would come to 1759, I believe. Guys, this episode's been sponsored by Modular Driven Technologies. By the way, this shirt I'm wearing is not an official MDT shirt. This is something one of my Patreons, Andy, came up with. And I had my friend print it up for me, and I think it's pretty cool. It's like a play on the logo, like the band Run DMC. I don't know if you guys know that band. It's quite old school, but the song goes something like this. So yeah, I think it came out pretty cool. Obviously, you guys know I shoot only MDT chassis systems. They give you incredible accuracy and repeatability out of your rifle. So if you're interested in looking at a chassis system or a 10-round mag or a Arca Rail or whatever, look no further than mdttac.com, and I want to thank them for being such awesome partners to the channel. Okay, so what sort of things do I use in terms of my reloading setup? And I've pretty much broken those down into this little section here. So my scale, I've got in there as the A&D Auto Trickler scale. That's just, I've invested in this scale, and I think that this is a good time to talk about this. This equation does not take into account your time. Okay, so that's something we all have to be pretty cognizant about. So for me now, at that moment, I kind of do the YouTube thing, and it's this and it's that. So I kind of just, this is part of the thing for me to produce my own projectiles, right? But for you, if you've got a day job and you're working really hard and you have to come home and do this at night and take time away from your family or do this over the weekends, that could potentially cost you in terms of opportunity cost, right? So you have to factor that in. For me, if I was in the States and I could buy factory ammo, like good factory ammo like you guys can, at the prices you guys can, I think I'd be hard pushed to reload. Now, on that note, you do gain a lot by reloading for your rifle, but that's going to be a completely different thing we're going to jump into in our reloading course, which is something we're busy working on now. By the way, that link is in the description. Going to give you guys way more info than I can on YouTube, and the reason we're doing that course off YouTube is because of YouTube's T's and C's. So I don't want to step on any toes, so we're taking that completely off the platform. That's going to be the first link in the video bio. I'm really excited about this. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and you guys ask me all the time, hey Pete, please show us how you reload for precision. And that's the name of the course, Reloading for Precision. I'm going to strip out all the garbage, show you what I do, what works, what gets real results downrange. I mean, earlier today I was shooting in like terrible weather conditions in the rain, and I was stacking these like one through the other one. So, okay, so to get back to sort of our sheet. So my scales in there, A&D, I'm using a Big Boss 2 press. I've got the Kneeling Made Perfect machine. Now again, this is sort of my setup, and what you guys have to understand too, this is a high-end setup, okay? I've invested over time. Also, some of these things have been sponsored, but over the last sort of 3.5 years, this is the equipment that I've built up. I do have also, for the guys gaining access to this, which will be in the reloading course, this actual spreadsheet, there's another tab which is like the most budget version, like sort of what are the minimum requirements you need to have to produce quality ammunition. Okay, so that's going to be in that spreadsheet too, so as a separate sort of version. Okay, so I've got the Kneeling Made Perfect machine, the pilots are in there, the dies are in there, bushing for the dies, a case tumbler, stainless steel media, the separator, a bullet puller. You're going to need one of those. Absolutely. A reloading tray, expander mantle, case prep trays, and trimming tools, collets for the trimming tools, funnel kit, case lube, cartridge overall length gauges, gauges to measure your chamber, the modified cases. There's literally everything. I've even factored in the cost of buying a reloading bench. So pretty much what's really cool about this setup is you can add your own stuff in there. So when I made this, I actually just went on the internet and I looked up the prices for everything, and I kind of picked and chose what I would have wanted for each, like what kind of dies. I like the Reading Type S match dies with the bushing. So that's just a personal preference. Having said that, I've won matches with little cheap Lee 6.5 Creedmoor dies. So you don't need to go crazy. There are massive advantages though to upgrading to sort of a match grade die set, but that's all things we go into in more detail in the reloading course. So then I've put in here like sort of what is my expected barrel life. So on a 6.5 Creedmoor, that's probably going to be around about 3,000 rounds. For me, I got 3,200 out of my last one. So let's be a little conservative and say 3,000 on barrel life, okay? How many rounds do I shoot annually? So on this specific caliber, I put 1,500 in, okay? Then I'm going to take how many times I can fire my brass, because I want the cost of each firing of the brass for when I need to replace it. And I'm going to work on about 17 times. Now, if you're kneeling every time and you're sizing your cases correctly, I cannot emphasize this enough. There's so many people like turn the shell holder until it touches the... That's not how to do it. So again, I'm beating a dead horse here, but part of the reloading courses, I show you exactly how to set up a die properly that you can maximize the case life and also gain obviously the most precision and not causing any heavy bolt lifts or anything like that. Okay, so for me, I can fire 17 times, which I probably get more, but after 17 times, I'm probably going to start looking at replacing the brass anyway, okay? And then I've got my powder charge in there. Now, so what I do now is I take the total of what it costs me to produce each round, okay? 17.59 in Rand, okay? That's what it cost me without the gunsmithing fees and the barrel replacement, okay? So that's important to note that I've stripped that out of the equation for now. So I'm going to take the store-bought ammo that works out to 819 Rand per box of 20, so that's 40 Rand and 95 cents, minus the 17.59 off that, so I'm saving 23 Rand and 63 cents per projectile I'm making myself. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my total expenses with regards to all the equipment I need to invest in for reloading at home, okay, which comes to 81,000, just over 81,000. Divide that by my saving of 23.36. Okay, that's going to give me the total amount of rounds I need to shoot, okay, to break even. Okay, so that's going to work out to 3,467 rounds, well, let's call it 68 rounds to break even. So now I know if I shoot on average on this rifle, I'm shooting 1,500 rounds a year. Whoops, let me just do that. I know that it's going to take me 2.3 years to break even. So now we've sort of given ourselves enough information to make an informed decision. So the great thing about this tool is it's completely flexible to what you want to use. You can select your bullet, your brass, your press, your scale, whatever you want, and how much you shoot, what your powder charge is, and it's going to give you a great number and probably a nice sales tool for your wife as to why you should start to reload, you know. So the other thing we haven't spoken about, and we really dive into that in the reloading course, is what other benefits you get into when you reload for your own rifle. You're making custom hand loads for your rifle specifically, and that's really where, yes, it's great to see sort of at which point you get your money back and at which point you start saving. But once you start unlocking those other benefits, that's really when I think the sky's the limit. Okay, so it's at this point that I feel the need to give you guys a little disclaimer. What people don't tell you when you start reloading is that 1,500 rounds that you shoot per annum, that number goes up, because now it's cheaper to shoot. And then you start shooting 7,000 rounds a year. That happens to almost every single... let me put it this way. I don't know of any person that reloads who didn't start shooting more as soon as they started reloading. So that is something to consider if you're thinking about potentially getting into this. But yeah, guys, I hope you had fun with this video. Something different, a lot of sort of more analytical. I'm not known for making analytical videos. But yeah, I'm really excited to host you guys in the precision rifle reloading course. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We have a match this weekend, so I'm super pumped. It's going to be fun to shoot a little bit. I'm going to be shooting 223 Remington, so it's going to be a lot of fun. It does look like it's going to rain, so it's probably going to be an interesting day. If it's really rainy, I'm not going to take all the camera stuff with. I apologize for that, but I kind of wanted to save everything. On that note, it's been wonderful making this video for you guys. I hope to see some of you in the reloading course I'm offering. Again, it's 50% off until it's finished, and then it'll be $100. So make sure you check that out. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this helped you sort of make your decision if reloading is for you, if it isn't for you. And again, this tool will be available in the course and sort of have more of a budget-friendly version, like what is the minimum amount of stuff you can get away with to make really good ammo. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Every single one of you watching the channel. We hit 70,000 subscribers yesterday, which was super, super cool. So I can't thank each and every one of you enough. You guys are amazing. Check out some of our other videos up here. Subscribe down here if you haven't already, and the course is going to be somewhere here if you're watching on your phone, which most of you do. See ya. Have a good weekend. Bye.